Today we're diving into the fascinating world of AI with a very special guest, Jeff McPherson from XAgency and other exciting ventures. Jeff is at the forefront of integrating generative AI into businesses, so he's going to be offering a wealth of insights from working with a broad range of clients, from automating tedious tasks in their businesses to helping them enhance efficiencies across the board. Jeff's going to unpack how AI is not just a tool, but a game changer in today's business landscape. So stay tuned as we explore the cutting edge of AI with Jeff McPherson. Welcome to Using AI at Work. I'm your host, Chris Daigle. Each week, we'll be learning how today's business owners, entrepreneurs, and ambitious professionals are getting more done with smart use of tomorrow's tech. Let's get started. Welcome to today's episode of Using AI at Work. We've got Jeff McPherson from XAgency and other endeavors. Jeff's going to share with us how they're using AI in their business, and he's got the unique perspective of working with numerous clients, so he's able to see how other early adopters are implementing generative AI into their business processes and workflows. So Jeff, why don't you tell everybody about what you're doing with AI?
We're doing a lot. We look at AI as a co-pilot to your business right now. So XAgency, we're a form of an automation and AI agency, working with businesses to help plan, strategize, and actually implement AI into whatever their redundancies are, whatever they want to be more productive, where they want to be more efficient. So we really look at a business's processes and systems, and we look at also the fulfillment and the demand side of your business as well. If we can really help automate using different automations and AI, we can really help scale the demand side, because that's where a lot of businesses kind of run into issues. Is you have too much demand for and not able to keep up with the fulfillment, and that's where we really place ourselves in it. A lot of the conversations we have is nobody knows really where to start with AI, and we try and remove that burden from people so they don't have to think about, okay, there's new technologies or there's a new AI tool out there. So we really remove that fear of AI from a business as well.
You know, I definitely want to talk about getting started with AI, but you mentioned automation and AI. And what I found is a lot of people, they just lump a lot of times automation. They just, AI is doing it. So do you mind explaining how you guys see the difference between AI and automations?
AI is more driven on the data that your business has, and the automation comes to connecting the dots between the data sources. So whether that would be customer service to content creation. So the customer service would be collecting data from having conversations with your customers, and then the automations would help create content on the other side. Because if a customer is asking a question to your customer service department, well, it's like, well, why don't we create a post for social media or for our ads using the automations in there?
Great idea. Yeah, that's a good distinction. A lot of times people just, they think AI, but sometimes AI isn't the answer. Sometimes it's just the automation. So thank you for that, sharing that distinction. So you talked about when you're getting started with clients, how ready, I know that the intention and the desire is there for introducing AI, or else they wouldn't be reaching out to your agency. But how ready are you finding clients to start?
Yeah, I would say right now from where we are, it's 50-50. There's people who are just gung-ho for it. We need to start yesterday, which, I mean, they're nice to work with. But there's processes that come with it. Some people who are, it's like, I need to put a couple things in place, or I just want to kind of explore what's going on. We may not be ready. So for us, we've seen it's about 50-50 where it is. For us, it's just having the conversations is great. We know that, and even yourself, it's like it's a massive educational curve for people right now.
Sure.
So even the people who want to start like yesterday, like I was saying, there's still a process. Like, you guys need to understand, like, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. So it's like, just because you want it yesterday, AI just doesn't come out of nowhere and just run your business for you. So I mean, there's pros to having working with both people, which is great. And that's why it's like when we work with a company, we build out our 90-day implementation plan, and we do everything in 90-day sprints for a couple reasons. One, it's just not trying to think too far ahead and overwhelm the clients that we're working with. And most importantly, it's as much as we can estimate how much things may cost or how long things are going to take. there could be some sort of technology that's released tomorrow that none of us know about that we can implement into the business. And that's kind of where we've positioned ourselves. It's like they don't have to worry about that. And that's why we build everything in 90-day sprints for their business specifically.
Do you mind walking everybody through 90 days? For some people might be an aggressive timeline, depending on how capable they are with using the tools already or thinking in process, right? But for you guys, when you come in, what would a client expect? What should anybody that's looking for a vendor kind of expect that first cycle to look like?
Yeah. So we build out the plan first, and it's pretty in-depth plan. Like we build out the technology. So we don't build a lot of the actual tools itself. We partner with a lot of the tools. And again, we just connect through automations and APIs. We've got a whole bunch of our internal technologies. That is our AI operating system that helps, connect these things a lot quicker. But with it, it's like what people can expect is when we build out the plan originally for your business, we ask for your wish list. Like what would be a perfect scenario of your business? Like where do you want to be more productive? Like, are you having issues again with customer service or sales or whatever it may be? And then we build out the plan specific to them. And in that plan, it's like, we believe we can accomplish all of this, what you gave us within 90 days. And here's how we're going to do it. And we give them that blueprint for doing it. Which again, removes that overwhelming aspect for somebody when they're visualizing. It's like, you told me that you can do all this stuff, but it's like, yeah, we told you we can do it because we got your wish list. We've broken down everything with different tools and the different connections that we need. And then we just implement it for you. So again, it's really removing that fear.
Yeah. Are you finding that the clients already have the pain, or are they just like, we just want to put AI into our business?
Bit of both. There's the pain of again, the fulfillment side. It's like we're growing. We need to automate this stuff. We can't keep up with it fast enough. Or I don't want our business to be obsolete because AI is going to take over our business type thought process. So again, it's about 50-50. It's funny how people come in and where they're trying to position themselves using AI.
Either pain or pleasure, avoiding getting beat by the competition, or
exactly
excited about the new toy.
The services side, they're really looking to increase their demand side because you only can take on so many clients with the team that you may have. So if we can help on that side, that's where we're really seeing it. A lot of the, let's say, the info products and people that are coming through, it's like they want to be the first to market in implementing AI through their whole systems, because if they can stay ahead of their competitions, especially in the info product space, whether it's people who are in nutrition or fitness or whatever it may be, they really have a competitive advantage.
Do you guys work with a specific type of company, size or industry?
Typically, the businesses that we've seen, it's anywhere from $1 million to 25 million per year. There's definitely people who don't make that much, which is completely fine with us. For us, it doesn't truly matter. The best clients that we can work with in a quickest period of time are the ones with actual data points. So your business may not be making as much money, or just like your profit may not be there, but the amount of data that you're collecting through, again, emails, customer support, whether it's financial data, whatever that may be, we can train AI faster for your business to help it grow, to give you those profit margins as well. So it's more of like how much business data you have so we can train your systems faster. So
I don't know what your experience has been, but when I've worked with companies, data hygiene and all that has not been a high priority for them. Typically, it's been it's in the CRM or it's in the, but there's no real intelligent action taking place. And I would imagine that a lot of listeners, that might describe their business as well. So do you have any suggestions for somebody who is getting started or wants to get started, but they do want to address that data contribution, but they're just not there now?
You've got to get into more of the technical side when you're training AI and your data continuously. Like you could go to ChatGPT and you can use like a sales call, like a recording that we were talking about before. So one thing that we did is like we take all of our sales calls and we record them. Then we take the transcription and the recording and we put it into AI and it builds a proposal for people. So technically that's using your your data.
Yeah.
But to continue to do that and automate it and continue for it to learn, you've got to set up the connections through the automations so it can continue to learn. So, I mean, like people can go and they can do these things manually. And that's where AI becomes a co-pilot. And we look at it, it's like the 70, 90, 120 rule. When you first start using it, again, like using a recording and putting it into AI to create a proposal, you need a human to do that. Once we've started training it, we can get it to about 90% of a human capacity. And then once we've got all the automations and everything set up and the reinforcement, it'll do 120% of the human capacity automated, which is where the scalability is. And that's how we try and break it down for clients as well. It's like demand fulfillment, like I was saying, but then also when we start 70%, as we continue to build, we'll get it to a 90%. And then once we get everything flushed out and really trained, we can get it to 120% of your output. And that's when it's just a well-oiled machine.
So I know that you've got all different sizes of clients and everybody listening to this has different size businesses, but a process like that, I know you guys spend 90 days, but you're addressing a larger wish list and you're doing maybe you don't know the company. So you're required to do a level of immersion and like deep dive into their business to be able to advise them. But for somebody who it's their own business, maybe they're a solopreneur or a small team, so they're intimately familiar with every aspect of it, for them to identify an opportunity and to automate plus AIify, do the 70, 90, 120 on that. How much of a heavy lift is that for the typical new user?
So, I mean, and this is where we really want to come in two aspects. So we typically only have 2 calls a month with our clients because we set everything up and we train everything so you don't have to do it. So if somebody's a solopreneur, and we do believe that there's going to be solopreneurs running $100 million businesses at some point with these AI and automations, which is super exciting. So it's like, again, we try and really remove that burden because we knew like if we plugged ourselves into a business, there was going to be, well, I don't have a team member there to be able to manage what you're trying to do. So we took all that as well and built our internal teams. It's like, hey, it's in the wish list. We've built out the whole spec. This is in your 90-day plan. You've agreed to this plan. We're just going to build this out and we're just going to keep you up to date with it. And that's where it is. So you tell us what you want and then we'll build it out. Because what we're doing, and you and I have spoke about this before, is like we're building basically an AI in a box type SaaS platform. So you're not even going to need us to do this. We're going to have, and the biggest thing with the specs and stuff like that and what we're building, it's connecting to different CRM systems for an example. It's like once we've got the majority of them in the systems, it's like we can make it a lot easier for other people who have no technical background, solopreneurs, all these different size businesses at a SaaS level scalability.
This is a good point. You know, one of the things I encourage people when they're getting involved in AI is who, not how, right? Like it's more important for you as an applier of AI, the listener that's listening to this right now. It's more important that you understand how to use it than it is that you figure out how to connect Zapier to this or that, or that you become a prompt engineer and that sort of thing. Now, one of the challenges in a who, not how environment, which is where a lot of people find themselves, is I can't find resources. If I know, of course, you have an agency, and we'll talk about that. But for somebody that may be, I don't know, and you've probably had to do this with some of your clients, they're not a fit. Where do you send them? Where are people finding talent to help them?
So, I mean, I'm going to give them a plug. So Matt Farmer AI, Matt Farmer is my business partner. But if you look at Matt Farmer AI on social media, TikTok predominantly is where his largest following is. He reviews a new tool in technology every single day. So it's like, it's a good place to learn because everything that he promotes on his page, we also battle test internally. And like once we find good partnerships and good relationships, that's when we plug them into the clients as well. So because that's a big thing. It's like, okay, well, AI is not for me right now, or it's just don't have the budget or whatever it may be. It's like there's aspects that you can learn these tools and learn which ones. And that also gives us our competitive advantage because we're staying ahead as much as possible with these technologies and tools that get released. So, I mean, that's where we send people. It's like, I mean, he loves it because, I mean, he's got 5 kids. And he really sticks to it. I always praise him as like the fact that he keeps up with it every single day is amazing. Yeah. But what keeps him going is his 5 kids think he's a celebrity because he's got so many followers on TikTok, which is funny. But what he's doing is fantastic for people. The comments that he gets, the feedback that we get as a business, the connections that we make and the partnerships to these tools that we allow our clients to essentially have access to without having to worry about it.
So for those who are going to go check it out, Matt is looking at these tools through the lens of what role? Business owner, entrepreneur?
He's looking at it as a consumer mostly. So there's 2 sides. One is like a tool where I'm gonna use a tool to generate an image. So he'll go through and he'll show like an updates of how these technologies have changed and how it compares to other tools that are out there. So he does that comparison aspect from tool to tool. There's some technologies that he talks about, which is super high technical stuff and some things that I don't even understand what he's talking about sometimes. Yeah. So there's 2 aspects, but a lot of it is I'm going through from the lens of a consumer and here's the comparison to other tools that are out there.
Very cool. So through that process, how many tools has he evaluated since he started doing this?
Oh, geez. Hundreds. He's done it every single day for over the last year. Like it's just, and sometimes it's 2 a day. I want to say, and I mean, I don't want to be quoted on it, but I think over 500 tools he's reviewed.
Nice. From that process, I mean, it's a killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He's creating content, but he's also educating himself, but he's also saying, hey guys on the team, check this tool out. What are some of can you name a few, maybe some tools that because of that process, you guys are like, damn, we're going to use this?
One that we actually use and we've partnered with, we're helping on their development side and behind the scenes is Charlie AI. Their platform, it's speed to lead. So when people come through, like they're just releasing the voice side of the business. When a lead comes through, it goes and it'll call them and it'll make sure that they're following through your funnel, which is in our business, that's the most important thing. It started as like the text platform and stuff like that, which is great. There's a whole bunch of other features in there, but that's definitely the one that's making a huge difference. There's other ones that we've looked at. I mean, voice call centers, they're the ones that are taking off. So everybody's probably heard of Air AI. So we work closely with Air AI. They've done an amazing job. People have their pros and cons of it. There's other tools out there that do similar things. But I mean, they're definitely one of the first to the market. Customer service stuff. There's a ton of tools out there. We've developed one internally where it's like a customer service bot on your website. We've also taught it to sell as well. So when we work with a client, it's like, what's the objective you want these customer service agents to push to, whether it's book a call or, sell a product and stuff like that. And those are the additional nuances you can use with these automations in AI, because typically a customer service agent for a business is only going to do the customer service, but we can do both with AI now.
That's an interesting use case. So for those who may not be familiar with what's possible with some of these chat bots, give me kind of like what that experience is like and what's occurring in that interaction with a client.
I mean, the easiest one. So typically how we set up the ladder, it's like you go to a website and there's a widget that pops up in the bottom corner. They've been around for a long period of time. It's like you communicate back and forth with them and I'm asking you questions on your business. Like that's usually the cool thing with it. It's real time language change. So it's like if somebody comes in and they speak any sort of European or any sort of, like, let's say Chinese or Japanese or whatever it may be, it can real time change, which is massive opportunity for businesses to now expose themselves to different markets that they may not. And that comes on the demand side that we focus on. If for some reason the customer service chat couldn't deal with a question, it gets pushed up and then can push them to a voice AI. And then if the voice AI can't solve it, it'll push it to an actual human. And these are the connections through the automations. And then once the human answers it once, it gets pushed into your data center, which then it pushes it back down to it learns it. And that's where the 70, 90, 120 comes in.
Yes. And that's a pretty standard thing that you guys are doing with those chatbots.
Yeah. I mean, like everybody needs, I mean, for me at least, I think everybody's customer service can be better. Like like that's some of the biggest feedback that most businesses get. For myself, like I'm a big Apple user. It's like, I think they have some of the best customer support that's out there. I mean, they've built that brand for a reason. And that's just kind of how we look at it. And if we can take that small burden off a business and then give them that feedback from their consumers, like, well, your customer support was amazing, I'm going to continue to come back and buy it. Because that word of mouth marketing is more powerful than just that cold paid traffic. So again, it comes back to the fulfillment and the demand side.
So with these bots, and I know that you guys do something a lot more sophisticated with your clients, but are there tools out there that somebody can just go and load up a bot in 30 minutes and throw in some customer service transcripts and have first pass?
At the top of my head, I can't name one because we've been focused on ours. So we've developed some other tech
stuff. Yeah,
we've developed our own stuff in that aspect. So we've also got some additional technologies where we can go and we can scrape basically all the information on your website and upload it into a customer service bot almost instantly and put the widget on your website. So we've got that aspect, and that's kind of just an additional bonus that we give to our clients. It's like, we're going to improve your customer support. We've got all the information here because it comes back to, we don't have anybody in our team to be able to give you the information or be able to provide that. So it's like, we've created the tools so they don't have to worry about finding that person to get us what we need.
Cool. So I want to talk about this wish list idea because I think that's a great for any business out there. Where are your pain points? What do you want to fix? Right. That's a great place to start. Yeah. So typically, as you guys are working on these, working through this wish list for your clients in those 90 days, what types of contribution is it making as far as like time saved or percent, cost less, this much less to execute that product?
The estimate that we've estimated, and again, it's an approximate. So each Copilot, again, so each automation and AI that we set up for a business, again, just using the customer service aspect of, we believe we can save upwards about $50,000 per year per Copilot for a business. Damn. So quite a bit of money, because once we get all these departments set up, you don't need to add more people to your business, which is the real cost constraint to it. So it's like, once we get them set up, sure, there's some heavy lifting in the beginning where the cost to get these things set up but after that, then it just runs, which is great. So you've just got like maintenance fees on your servers, or something goes down, you need to bring in a developer to do this, but we've got all that stuff internal. So again, you don't have to worry about it. So it's like the heavy lifting in the beginning, and then after that, it's super smooth. And then you see the growth of your business while also saving money on the back end. So that's typically what we've estimated, about $50,000 per year per Copilot that we set up.
And customer service in particular is one of those areas, high churn, critical because it's customer facing, and onboarding. All those things in customer service end up being a reason why AI is certainly a place to get started with that. So with this bot in place, or this type of tech in place, I don't have to worry about churn nearly as much unless one of my seniors, dips out. I don't have to worry about, that huge promotion, it was a hit. We're getting overwhelmed in customer service. Yep. Beautiful. So as far as other processes where the bots might not be included, is there a general pattern or trend that you're seeing in a company's production cycles increasing? Like are there any type of numbers or stats that you might feel comfortable that a small business person could say is putting this effort worth blank percent increase?
Yeah, I mean, those numbers are tough because it's really subjective to the business. Yeah. And that's why we try and use like, okay, well, this is what we believe we can save, what that percentage is for your business. But there's little things in behind the scenes that it's hard to justify what that is. So we've got something that will actually grade your leads in your CRM system. So it can revive some leads and stack them properly that you can sell them more products. Some may be dead, some may not be. So it's actually, we've created a lead grader. So it's like, we want to help on the demand side. You're getting all these leads Let's structure them and grade them properly using AI, which technically businesses don't really do that. If they do it at all, that could increase a huge amount of profit and time into your business, because you don't necessarily need to call somebody who's just not going to be there, or who's fake, or maybe just a bot or something like that. So there's a time savings, and it's just, yeah, it's a very hard subjective number to put a percentage in right now. But I mean, there's just little things like that make a huge difference.
So for somebody that was going to DIY, right, and kind of replicate the process that you've just explained here, beyond the wish list, what would be the next step that you'd recommend for them? I mean,
working with us, I mean, it's up to them. It's like that's the biggest thing.
But if it was somebody who, I mean, you guys, for what you do, you deservedly charge a premium. And there's going to be individuals out there who are like, they got the FOMO, right? They want to start using AI, but they're not at a mature enough point in that education cycle to be able to engage with somebody like you. So let's say your neighbor was like, hey, what should I do in my business? I think the wish list is a fantastic idea. But beyond that, what would you tell your neighbor to do if he was interested in putting AI in his business?
Doing the plug for my business partner, go and watch Matt Farmer AI, and then even the people. Yeah, tool awareness is the big thing. A handful of the people that he's following as well is some of the top other influencers in the space as well. For us, it's just like, if you're not at the point to work with somebody like us or another service business that's out there, just starting and using something is most important. One of the best things that we did in the early days is, if you're doing sales calls or even your internal training or internal meetings, Fathom.video is the name of the tool, and it records your team calls. There's other tools out there, but using those and then taking the transcriptions and putting it into AI, whether it's like, let's just call it ChatGPT, and creating a proposal, creating an internal SOP training and something like that, it's getting your hands wet into the industry with basically little to no cost.
Yeah. And it's something you're going to be doing anyway. It's not like you have to think up a use case for.
Yeah, because like, if you need to train more people, like, you don't want to completely automate your business over time, fine. But if you're using these recordings with your team, you can take this information and train people faster based on previous calls that you had, and AI can help break that down for you.
So I want to shift gears a little bit, because this is about using AI at work, and there's no question that you use AI at work. Define your role and title with your company. Let's start there.
So I deal with a lot of the partnerships, the sales, the project management. Matt's more on the integration and the plan building side, because he's in the technologies. And then we've got another guy who works with the development team on the implementation. But that's kind of how our core team kind of works through our own funnel. But no, I deal with most of that front end partnership, the legal, all that sort of aspect.
Okay. I think a lot of those hats are being worn by entrepreneurs who are listening to this, or people that are in a role in a company.
The funny thing as well is, like, Matt's very technical, and so we joke around on calls. Is like, I also become his translator, because I can take it and I can take his brain and come up with some sort of analogy or breakdown. It's like, okay, this person now understands it.
So for somebody in your role who's dealing with partnerships and the marketing and the sales and that sort of thing, what are some ways that you're finding yourselves regularly using AI, generative AI at least, in getting more out of less effort?
Well, the one is building proposals for businesses, taking the recordings.
Great idea.
Helping build out our plans and stuff like that. So we record the calls, because you can forget what's on a call. So we can go back and we can look at it, and then we can put it into AI. It's like, we've also created like our own directory of tools. So it's like, we go through, it's like, okay, this company needs this, and this. AI goes into our directory, finds the relative information, and then helps plan it based on their business. And then we give it to the development team to spec out the technologies. And it's like, so there's that aspect and the internal and behind the scenes. So I'm taking it from sales to implementation as quick as possible. Like we were saying, speed to lead. That's probably the biggest one. we're marketers first, which we're doing. So what we're actually in the process of doing, and this one's really exciting. So Matt was one of the best media buyers that I've ever met my entire life. So over the next year, we're going to be training his brain to be able to become a media buyer for your business. So you don't necessarily need to hire the high ticket agency.
Yeah.
And the thing is with these AI media buyers, it runs 24/7, 365, and it will understand trends, nuances, and stuff like that that a human may not ever understand. So we're going to take his brain. Yeah. And those are just tools in behind the scenes that we're just continuing to train so we can give them to our into that AI in a box platform that we're building.
Yeah. You know, you've mentioned a couple of times the proposal example.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's generating proposals, I mean, I know that there's software out there, not necessarily AI powered software, but there's tools to help you do it the old way. So in a granular level, kind of walk me through what the new way looks like. Ring, ring. Hi, Jeff, I'm interested in your services. You have the call. Then what happens?
Take the recording. I mean, you download the recording and then you put it into AI. It's like, okay, here, we've just sent you the proposal. This is what.
So you don't even bother with the transcript. You just take the audio file into the.
They put it into AI.
So
you take the transcript. No, so the Fathom.video transcribes the whole video, but it would be like Matt spoke at this point, Chris spoke at this point, Jeff spoke at this point. So again, it can pick those things up in the transcription, and then from there, it's like now you got to prompt the AI properly. So just a very quick example is take this recording and break down the wish list of the clients to the tools that we have, and then close it out. Essentially, it'll spit out the whole thing. You review it. Maybe make some edits, and then you send it off to the client. So you can do that within 15 minutes, if that, after a call, because now they're excited and confused, or the fear, whatever it may be at that point, to kind of get them across the line. Because we have the development team as well. It's like sending Stripe invoices or QuickBooks or whatever tool you may use to collect payments. We also just created a website with a customized link. So depending on the business, the prices could vary. So it's like we just go back in our own CRM system. We type in the user's name. We put in their proposal. It has a price point to it. And then it's basically a custom link for them that they can check out on. And then it puts them into our whole system. It puts us into their CRMs. It puts us into their project management. And then it starts building their customer profile. So we can now continue to build this using AI.
So you started with a call, and by the time the AI and automation process is done, you've now started to build a profile in the CRM, the proposal. So, and I know that you're doing these regularly. So does that mean that you have a specific prompt that you've calibrated for taking that transcript and giving you the output the way you want it?
I mean, we're always testing it. It's like it's good for the copy and paste prompt. It's getting to the point where we don't even need the prompt like to create those proposals anymore, because the conversations that we're having are just like more direct to the business. It's like them, because we were doing that in the beginning. It's like now it's like if people come to our website, they fill out a form, so it's qualifying them. Then now what we're doing is we're taking that form and pre-building a qualification profile in the CRM, and then learning about them using AI before we get on the sales call. So then we can close quicker, and then we can set up that link to close them just right on the call.
So Jeff, I would imagine, and you've been sending proposals for years, probably, right?
Yeah.
What was the turnaround time prior to you getting adept with the tools for a proposal?
I mean, a lot of the time, at least what we were doing it continuously, it's like, I'll get it to you by end of day. So, I mean, that's typically where we were. Some people could take longer. Some people have like their own processes. Like, well, we'll send it to you in 3 days so it looks like our pipeline's really full and we're busy, like whatever the tactic may be, but call it end of day. And now it's just like, get it off your plate as quick as possible before that next call. Then you don't have to worry about it. And you can do it within that 5-10 minutes, really, once it becomes fluent.
Oh my gosh. How much more business do you think? I mean, you can obviously handle more input now. How much more business do you think that's going to yield you guys, because you're able to process more, turn around more? Because look, I've created proposals before. They're not my favorite activity.
They're a pain in the
it wasn't
ass.
a 15-minute endeavor, right?
Yeah.
It was like it was going to take till the end of the day because that's how long it was going to take me to put everything together. So I mean, obviously, this is saving you hours for each proposal now.
Yeah, I mean the proposals is one thing, but it's pushing it right through our systems, building profiles to get right to the development team on the implementation side. So there's a whole bunch of little things in behind the scenes because we're building this to replace ourselves. Because if we do that, we're no longer a service and we have a scalable business. And like a lot of businesses, or let's just say agencies, they're good at running traffic for other businesses, but they can't grow their own. Or it's like you don't have enough time to build your own because you're spending it on the clients. So it's like we kind of reversed it where it's like it's going to be extremely hard for us in the beginning, setting up all these processes, building all these technologies, connecting all these automations. But like once we get it set, we're not even going to be really needed to run the highest quality automations and AI for your business. And it's like, because if we can do that for ourselves, the scalability of reselling that is, I mean, there's really no limits to it.
Infinite. So outside of the proposals, what are some other areas that you're commonly finding yourselves compressing time using the tools?
Building out the plans is another one. It's a lot of content stuff right now because we're so close to and we want to stay super close to our clients as much as possible. Building out the technologies, just making things work properly. It's a lot of content distribution aspect of it. Some of the stuff. So we also, like XAgency is the mother company, but we own X Creative, X Development. And then once we continue to build out down the line, we also own X Marketing. So the creative side. So taking long form content, say something like this recording here is using, there's a tool, it's called Opus Clip, I believe, where it will create shorts with it. So it's like you can use AI to create the shorts, but then you should send it to a developer, or not a developer, an editor, just to kind of like make sure everything's correct, like to that quality assurance side. So that's another aspect that we're using. And then the video translation. So one thing that we're doing with a lot of businesses is doing multi-language video translations for their content, which is just massive.
Yeah, it's an obvious low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the tools, because they can knock it out. I mean, in the snap of a finger, you've got a Spanish version, a Chinese, French. For your clients that are doing that, have you gotten any data points as far as like how much that has increased their business or opened up new markets for them?
Open up new markets, yes. For how long we've done it for, to give a relevant number for it, because they're learning. It's like, okay, we want to be in the Chinese market. It's like, okay, now we've got to also set up the rest of the business and behind the scenes to be able to support the Chinese market. So yes, it can support other languages, but people just got to be careful. It's like you've also got to set up the fulfillment in those other languages as well. But it's just the opportunity for people to know that it's there is where the excitement working with clients is. Like we've just capped the North American market, we believe. It's like, okay, well, let's go overseas.
Yeah, let's try Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
See what happens. So that's one of the things that we're working on not working on, but it's on the list of things to do for our course. And I was curious because it's such a simple thing. I mean, this makes the solopreneur or whatever, like all of a sudden, they've now got international distribution as a possibility that they could handle, on Saturday afternoon. It's crazy, the acceleration.
Because we look for experts in their field, again, whether it's sales or like customer support or like content creation, and we take them and we look at them as the prompt engineers. So we figure out relationships with these people, connect them to the tools, because a lot of the time these tools out there as well, they may not be experts in the field. They're engineers. They've seen a product market fit, but they haven't trained their own technology to deliver the best output from experts in their industries. And that's why prompt engineers are getting paid so much money. So we try and connect those dots in behind the scenes. So when a customer or client comes through, they're getting the smartest minds on delivering content creation with the best technologies without having to speak to either.
Man, you mentioned a word that might be intimidating to people. Anytime engineer is involved in a title, people like me are thinking, no, I'm not a math guy or whatever. So, but you also, were stating earlier that with those proposals, you don't need some masterful prompt. Are the models able to take that kind of like conversational input and give you close to the output you're looking for?
Yeah. I mean, and this is where trying like going and buying prompts from these gurus. I mean, like we believe it's a complete waste of time because it just doesn't necessarily work specific for your business. So using the proposal aspect, it's like you take the transcription and just ask it a simple question. Take this transcription and it's very simple. And if it's not right to your perfection, just ask it another question or ask it something slightly different and just continue that process until what it gives you is what you want. And it can be very, very simple.
Yeah, it's an important point because new users, we don't encounter as many as we used to because adoption is high. But new users would be like, well, I tried it. And when you kind of dig in, you'd say, well, tell me about you tried it. They tried to use it like Google, right? Like they would ask it a question or something, but they weren't giving it a command.
Correct.
And what you're doing is you're taking that input of the transcript, but you're giving it commands. And it's good to know that you don't need to be an engineer to command the models to get you close enough.
No, you don't need to get into the engineering stuff until you really start training your data specifically, but taking information from past content or like recordings and because they've given you that information and putting it into something like ChatGPT. I mean, you don't need to have an engineering background to be able to start benefiting yourself using AI.
Great point. No excuses, folks.
No excuses.
A lot of times, just for personal interest, I like to ask a question, and that is, where do you find out about news or things that are happening in the marketplace? But in your case, with a business partner who's cycling through 500 tests of tools per year, that's kind of an unfair advantage. Are you guys finding? So we have some basic software that we include with our training. And what we're seeing is that as we're out there in the marketplace, like we have this vision of what our product is, right? But as we're out there in the marketplace, we're like, they're not an exact copy or they're not an exact copy, but ooh, I like that piece of functionality. Ooh, I like that piece of functionality. Has that broad spectrum of visibility you've had on tools, has that informed the software development on your side or the functionality development?
It has, because like Matt reviewing the tools, it's like, he does promos for them. So people do pay him for some of these promos for sure. But there's a lot of tools that he reviews just because he likes the tools. Yeah. But we've created like partnerships with them. So it's like now we work with these people. It's like, okay, so content creation, this is the tool that we use. So it's like it's in our ecosystem now, which again gives us that competitive advantage even for our clients. And we don't see anybody who's doing it as in depth as us. Like there's other automation agencies out there, but we've been marketers. I developed the first chatbot on Instagram 5 years ago. Nice. Which, I mean, put me into this conversational marketing industry, I mean, a long time ago. We built out a development team over the years. So it's like we're marketers. We built out the development team. And then Matt having that competitive advantage reviewing these tools. It's like some people may have one or two, but we've got all three. So we can help businesses, again, on the fulfillment and the demand side with complete knowledge in every industry.
You know, this is a great tip for any business out there. Look, certainly go to Matt's and do the shortcut, who, not how. You don't have to go through 500 tools, but somebody on your team should be regularly, even if it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes on a coffee break, should go and start testing these tools. And with the filter of how do I use this in my business? How do I use this in my role? How does somebody else on my team use this in their function? So I'd never considered the strategic advantage of massive tool evaluation.
It is. And like, even for him, like he can't keep up. It moves so fast. But with it, it's like not necessarily just test tools out. It's like if you're in a specific department, find a tool that can help you in your specific role. because then you're more obligated to stick with it. So it's like, again, I'm in customer support. It's like or I'm in sales. It's like find some tools, like I was just saying, that help you with that, and then start expanding it through the actual team itself, and have the other team members do similar things. It's just find tools specifically for your role that help you in that aspect, and then give it to everybody else once you figured it out.
In my personal experience, I look at a lot of tools as well. I find that the learning curve for extracting value from those tools is almost instant. So none of these have major, software has changed. Let's put it that way. It's not nearly as challenging.
It's not as challenging. It does not cost as much anymore, because with AI and automations, like you can build out some really powerful infrastructures for your business specifically, and we do it all the time for clients. I mean, like we've had the experience, so we can do things a little bit quicker, but also, and what I really like, it's the collaboration aspect of a lot of these tools and technologies is massive. Like, because like a tool may be building voice AI, but there's a whole bunch of technologies that we may be building that we can leverage each other's technologies to grow together. With like back in the day, it's like, if I'm a marketer, I'm selling this tool, I'm selling this business, you try and keep everything hush hush, because I mean, somebody's just going to come in and steal it from you. So the collaboration, what we've seen right now with AI has been amazing, and it's really nice to work with a lot of different teams that just have the same interest in mind.
One of the things that comes up a lot, going back to your clients, there's the whole AI is going to take my job. Yeah, I don't know if the sentiment is as strong as it was earlier in the year, or it may be stronger. I don't have data on that, but it is for somebody who, me and you, we're in it, right? Like it's not scary anymore. But for a business owner that maybe they're not like an online marketing agency that's familiar with using new tech and all that kind of stuff, are you finding that when you go to talk to your clients that there are people within the organizations who are fearful of what's happening with your coming on board and doing your 90-day plan?
So we always tell people AI is not fully autonomous, not right now. It's a co-pilot. So we can help your business get connected to AI. We still need those humans there to do the quality assurance behind it. So it's like, we're not here to replace you. We're here to enhance your specific role using AI. So it's like instantly, it's like, and that's what we're trying to do, because AI is not here to do that yet. It's just not going to happen. So, I mean, it's just, I mean, removing that fear from people and just being honest about it. I think that's the biggest thing with it. It's like people are trying to do the fear of God selling. It's like, if you don't use AI, you're going to be replaced. It's like, it's a load of crap, I think, right now. Yeah. But I mean, I get the selling tactic for some, but it's a stigma that's in the industry for sure.
So a business owner shouldn't necessarily be concerned about the change management responsible, especially if they got a small team. If they can come in there and position the narrative that, hey, this is going to start doing the stuff you don't like doing anyway.
That's exactly it. And what AI can do is, if like, Chris, you're in sales, and like it can tell us, well, Chris, you suck at sales, but you could be really good at content creation. So it's going to start having those. It's going to start having those conversations for not only yourself, but for the executives or the management on the team. It's just like, because it's emotionless. It's just like, Chris, you suck. You need to be on content creation. Meanwhile, it's like, it's like, but and in the back of your head, content creation is where you want to be, but you've always been worried about telling your executive team. So it's just going to do that for you, and it'll just move team members around within their organism. I think the only people who are going to get replaced are the people who don't adopt.
No question. Yeah, there's a quote from Diamandis. I think we might have talked about this, but in one of his interviews, he said at the end of the decade, there'll be two types of companies: those that are AI enabled and those that are extinct.
Yeah.
So internally with your organization, obviously not everybody is an engineer or a marketing expert or a sales expert. So as far as like your operational team and your administrative team, are they engaged using the model in their jobs?
Yeah, everything that we do with our team is like we're implementing AI in, again, operations, admin, sales, stuff like that. We're plugging it in because we're truthfully trying to replace ourselves to an extent. Because the quicker we can do that for ourselves, the easier we can resell that system to other businesses, and then give that time back to the businesses as well. Because there's every business has like similar overlaps. Like there's sales, admin, like
Operations,
there's a ton of similarities with, okay, well, this person uses this CRM system and this project board, whatever it may be. So like that's kind of where we're figuring it out right now, just working closely with the clients.
For the non-tech people in your company, did you mandate, hey, you guys got to start using this, or did they see others getting wins and start to use it themselves? What was that adoption like?
A little bit of both. I mean, I do believe we've got a very high technical team. It's like I'm trying to even think, like, yeah, I'm going to say like we've got a pretty high technical team. So getting them integrated into some sort of AI, it's like we're also the team members, like we don't want to micromanage. So, but we need our team members. So even on the creative side, like on the creative department, it's like we get that you guys are editors and you used to make all this money doing hourly work, but you need to use AI because we can bring you more clients. It's like then you just do smaller things. So it's more of, you need to use AI because we need the cost to be around here so then we can sell it. So it's kind of like a forceful without micromanaging type aspect as well. Yes. And then they come back to us. It's like, okay, we've done it. We figured it out.
Nice. So what's next for you guys? I know the software is in development, and is there an ETA? I know it's tough to, depending on how close you are to launch, but is there an ETA where people would be able to get access to it? Because it sounds like it might be the who, not how, for people to be able to get access to this.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm exaggerating, but it can happen overnight with technologies being released. Because again, we're not developing a ton of additional proprietary like tools where it's just like the content creation. Like we're building behind the scene, the stacking it, but the technologies we're building is going to make it so simple for businesses to fulfill and demand on the business like we're talking about. Getting that built out. I mean, there's no approximate ETA because we do our 90-day sprints as well. Like we build our own plans. We go through the same cycle that we go with our clients. So we're hoping to have some sort of aspect of it within the next 90 days, but it could come sooner. But it doesn't mean that people can't get access to it. It's just they're working a little bit closer with us at more of that enterprise service right now. So like, because all of our clients are using our AI operating system. And for us to give that example, in my analogy aspect, is like if you've got an iPhone or you've got a Samsung, it runs on an operating system. It's like then you download the apps, which are the additional tools, but everything runs seamlessly on your Apple operating system in that aspect. So when you come to our platform, you're going to run on XAgency's operating system, but we're going to make it super easy for you to use these tools, and then it's going to run your data for you.
So the intention is that this becomes a self-serve, like I could go sign up at when it's ready, go to XAgency, download the tool and start my own configuration, but powered by your AI OS.
Correct.
Very cool. Well, I can't wait till that comes out, man.
Yeah, we're super excited for it.
Any tease? Could be any day, you said?
Yeah, I mean, like, realistically, within the next 90 days isn't realistic because, like, we do like working with our clients right now, and we're really building that enterprise value. And it's going to make, like, every tech company that we've built and I've built in the past, it's been bootstrapped based on the customer service aspect and creating that feedback loop. Because I do believe a lot of people start developing tools and technologies thinking they know what consumers want, but they have no idea. They spend so much money in different feature sets. It's like, well, don't do that. Don't develop that. So it's kind of taking your time, but also not too much time because AI moves too quick.
Yeah. I'm guilty of, I know what they want. I think we talked about this on our first call, actually.
Yeah.
So, well, cool, man. I know that you're in Vegas. It's business, and I know that you also have lots of things to do to run this busy company. So for the people that want to find out more about and just pay attention to what you guys are doing and the thought leadership that you're displaying and the the marketplace. We've talked about Matt's TikTok and Twitter channels. Is there any other place where people can find out about X Agency or what you guys are doing?
I mean, the lowest hanging fruit is just to the website. It's just XAgency.ai. Pretty straightforward, that aspect. We've got a whole bunch of information on there. It actually talks about Matt's education side. It kind of speaks about the plans and everything that we do. If people got questions, you can reach out to me. Instagram's probably the best spot, just Jeff.McPherson. And if you want to look at some content and really start getting your feet wet with the educational side, Matt Farmer AI, just one word, no dots or anything in between, across all socials.
Nice. Yeah, I subscribed to his Twitter feed after you told me that he was doing tool reviews. I love it. Matt's a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, thanks so much for being on the podcast today, and I look forward to doing a lot of exciting things with you in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to Using AI at Work. Don't forget to subscribe for more conversations about how to use AI at work. And a special thank you to our sponsor, Chief AI Officer, for empowering businesses with AI education and training. Visit their website for a free AI readiness assessment and AI strategy guide to help you get started using AI at work. That's www.chiefaiofficer.com. Special thanks to our producer, Evan DeSaulnier, for making this episode possible. Follow us on Twitter at the handle Using AI at Work, and visit www.usingaiatwork.com for free resources to help you harness AI in your role.